you guys, so this is part 2 of the things I wish I knew before studying abroad at the American College of Greece. So if you haven't seen the first one, make sure you do watch that one before you watch this one. Part 1 and 2 are videos meant to inspire people who are thinking about Greece as a study abroad option. Also, if I don't talk about things that you guys still had questions about, feel free to go ahead and comment down below in the comments and I can answer your questions that way. Or feel free to go ahead and message me on Instagram. I know I am speaking to a couple of you guys. One of the girls that reached out to me on Instagram is currently in Greece. She just left yesterday. And I just think it's so fun and exciting that people are going to be experiencing what I did at ACG. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is downtown Athens. Downtown Athens was beautiful. I found myself there a lot because they have a lot more shops and just like overall things to do and more historical sites nearby as well within walking distance of downtown Athens. I really enjoyed downtown Athens, and that's honestly one thing that I regret about my abroad experience is not paying enough attention to stuff that was in my own backyard. So definitely something that I recommend is to not neglect downtown Athens. It's literally so beautiful. There's so much to do, has so much to offer in terms of like food, souvenirs, live music, rooftop bars where you can see the Acropolis. Two things that I did want to note in downtown Athens were pickpocketers. I have witnessed someone yelling at a pickpocketer because they caught them trying to steal out of their bag while they weren't paying attention. So that is something to be aware of. And another thing that I would highly be aware of is there are these ladies that come around with roses. They basically like badger you into trying to buy a rose. They'll start with like a compliment and they'll be like, "You look so pretty," and then they'll hand you the rose. Think they're giving it to you, but in reality, right after they hand you that rose, they won't leave you alone until you give them money for the rose. So don't take any type of things from people who do that. Just avoid them at all costs. Don't be rude, but just say no thank you, and walk away. Because once they get you to hold that rose, once you try to hand it back, they won't accept it back and they'll keep asking you for money. Another thing similar to the whole rose thing was like bracelets. They would show you a bracelet, they would ask you where you're from, they put the bracelet on you, think that they're giving it to you, but then after that they start asking for money and they won't accept the bracelet back. The next thing that I wanted to talk about that I wish I found more information about is money. So as far as like money there in Greece, basically what I was trying to say in that clip is I was paying more in US dollars in the place of a euro. The conversion rate whenever I was in Greece was different than it is now. Currently, the euro is equivalent to the US dollar, so that means there's no conversion rate. I'd always suggest that you guys do your own research based on whenever you guys are going to be traveling to Greece, but as of right now there is no conversion rate. So you guys are extremely lucky because I could have saved so much money if the conversion rate was equivalent, but it's fine, I'm fine. So that is something that you have to look forward to if you do choose to study abroad in Greece. Something me and all of my friends that I made there talked about were literally like, wow, we could have saved so much money with the conversion rate because it adds up. It changed right after we got back. Another thing that I would recommend in regards to money is always carrying around euros for emergency. With that being said, I wouldn't recommend carrying around large amounts because again, pickpocketers are a very big thing in downtown Athens. And if you are going to be carrying around things, I would recommend getting like a fanny pack or a purse that you have really close to your body so you can feel if anyone's trying to grab in there. One of the biggest lifesavers for me personally was the Apple credit card. I used that literally everywhere I went. It has no international fees, cash back. Whenever you use the card, it needs your face verification. So I really appreciated how advanced like technology was in Greece. Like most of the places I went to, I could literally just, put my phone up to it and use my Apple Pay with my Apple credit card. I literally cannot stress this enough. The Apple credit card was a holy grail. One of the reasons why I really appreciated the Apple credit card is because with my personal debit card through my bank, there was international fees connected to each purchase. And when you are trying to be like on a budget, you don't need those international fees to rack up on you. So again, I would definitely recommend an Apple credit card, or even a credit card doesn't charge you international. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is budgeting. Honestly, me studying abroad was kind of like a on the whim type of ordeal. I had no time to like fully prepare or like budget or make a plan for myself. I know like the fall semester, whenever I did figure out that I was studying abroad, I worked 2 jobs, and then I juggled classes and working the 2 jobs. I worked full-time during winter break before I left to study abroad. Like, I literally was saving as much as possible. I would pay my bills, and then I would put whatever I had left over to my ACG fund. So in terms of like budgeting and extra traveling, I would recommend that you make a Excel sheet. I know my roommate did this, and I literally envied her because she had it all planned out. She made an Excel sheet with, you know, budgets for shopping, souvenirs, eating, groceries, traveling, flights, emergency transportation. And honestly, I feel like it made her life so much easier. I feel like towards the end of the semester, I felt like as if I was running out of money, whereas with her, she literally had everything budgeted out, so she didn't feel that way. I mean, you know, budgeting and having a plan if you are going to be doing some extra traveling, just because studying abroad is not cheap. So a breakdown of what I meant by budgeting for each extra trip that you plan on taking outside of Greece is making an Excel sheet that includes plane tickets, ferry tickets if you are going to be island hopping. It also includes souvenirs, food, just whatever you would want it to include. Make sure you are budgeting out for those specific things for those specific trips. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about, this is just something that I think is very important to be aware of before you are going anywhere, not just Greece, but before you're going anywhere. It's important not to go to Greece with a sense of like entitlement, expecting them to speak the language that you're accustomed to. English is a language that is taught throughout Greece because it's such a big tourist destination. I know there were a couple instances where I did go to places where the owners didn't speak English and there was like a language barrier because I'm not fluent in Greek. However, because I did practice a little bit on Duolingo, I was able to like pick up what they were trying to communicate to me. I highly recommend you try to learn basic phrases like hello, thank you, where's the bathroom, goodbye, good morning, your coffee order, stuff like that. This is literally, if I could, you know, say this 1,000 times, I would. It's a reminder that you're a guest. Always remain respectful to everyone at all times. This isn't just a bucket list destination for these people. It's, you know, their home, their culture, and their livelihood. So that's one thing to note. So that concludes my part 2 of the things I wish I knew before studying abroad at the American College of Greece. Hopefully I can inspire you guys that are maybe thinking about studying abroad to lean more towards Greece. As far as the direction that I want to take my channel in the future is, I'm no longer in Greece and I plan on making more content that's relevant to my life currently. Content focused around, you know, my daily life here in the States and back home in Texas. But as much as I wish that I was still in Greece, this is my normal, and I hope you guys will stick along and stay with me. See you guys in my next video.